Welcome to the Jedi Ranger. I'm JohnBerry555, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 6th episode of the 5th season of Phineas and Ferb. So 6A is the Aurora Borealis, and 6B is Lord of the Firesides. So in Aurora Borealis, the Flynn-Fletchers, they're going on a cruise to see the Tri-State Aurora. So apparently the Tri-State area is in an area where you can see an Aurora. Where is the Tri-State area located? And it's apparently this Aurora is something that can be seen once a decade. Also on this cruise is Doof and Vanessa. Doof is just going to steal everything by shrinking everything on the ship. That's his plan. And Vanessa ends up rekindling her relationship with Monty. So Major Monogram's son. By the way, this cruise does not allow pets. So where's Perry? Well, he's being pet sit by Stacy, and if you remember from a previous episode, that being the episode Happy Birthday Isabella, Stacy knows Perry is Agent P. So they're just playing video games. I just love that though. Kind of reminds us that yes, Stacy knows Perry's secret. They all hang out playing video games. Though Stacy does say she'll keep the pet sitting money. Yeah, that's because everyone else doesn't know it. And so, in the end, and Perry and Doof actually do end up shrinking themselves during their fight, and Doof does figure out who Vanessa's secret boyfriend is, that being Monty, even though apparently they've drifted apart. It sounds like they're rekindling, but he still doesn't know who Monty is, which is, I think, just kind of hilarious there, that he's so oblivious, and Perry's probably like, how does he not realize? Or something like that. I don't know for sure. But eventually, Doof realizes that his shrinking thing has which is actually his old garage door remote opener. He just modified it anyhow. He realizes there's a reverse button, so he gets him and Perry back to full size, and then he's detained by ship security for sneaking his pet on board. Perry does get away, and Perry's not his pet. It's a complicated nemesis, friendship, frenemy type situation, and therapeutic as well, I think, for him. And also too, doing all of this, Phineas and Ferb, well, first they do some cruise activities and all that. Actually make playing with some castles a little bit funner for some of the other kids on the cruise. And eventually, because of Stomm, they decide to use balloons to get above the cloud. Somehow that actually works, even though all the helium was already on the ship, and the helium would need to overcome the weight of not just the canisters they came in, but the ship itself. So they had to get some extra helium for somewhere, or am I putting way too much thought about it? Yeah, I'm putting way much too thought about it. But let's put some thought into the next episode, Lord of the Firesides, which instantly I can tell is a parody of Lord of the Flies. And basically, the premise of the episode is that the Fireside girls are trying to pick what cupcakes they want to bring to the annual Fireside Cupcake Jamboree. Vanilla or red velvet. And meanwhile, Perry is basically going to make sure Doofenshmirtz renews his evil business license. And because apparently that's a thing in the Tri-State area, and if Doof doesn't renew his license, he's going to be fined. And he doesn't want to deal with that. And also, Alqua's good business license is expired about a week before this episode is set. And Doof basically cuts in line and all that at the evil business license place, and has to go through a bunch of tests, which he kind of fails. Like he's given a model of the Tri-State area and is told he has a minute to take it over. He's like, I'll put a robot here. No, that's the one we're using. You just go over here. And then like, no, that's not a laundromat or whatever it was. It's now a tire shop. And then, that's not a restaurant. That's not zoned for it. And that just shows, and that entire thing shows that Doof is evil just because he's expected to be evil. He's just incompetent at planning, but he's he's literally trying to do evil in the most bureaucratic legal way possible when you really think about it, which I think is ironic. Like in the previous episode, the cruise is all inclusive, so he's just going to steal the stuff because it's all inclusive, and he gets away with that. But they just mistake the pet thing, of course. But anyhow, doing all this, we got the Fireside girls. Well, they descend into yelling and all that as they try to decide, and we find out at the end of the episode that's actually because Doofenshmirtz and NATO accent got turned on, pointed at the Fireside Girl cabin, and makes them uncooperative with each other and all that. And eventually, Doof turns off his NATO and things go back to normal. They decide red velvet cupcakes with vanilla frosting. Of course, granted, here's my thought. How about instead of doing that, you do I don't know, approve or ranked choice voting? Who's all fine with vanilla? Who's all fine with red velvet? Oh, that's just me, but hey, that's also a decent compromise for them. But like the premise is that they're normally cooperative and get along very well, and they're not. Which I think is pretty much just hilarious, and they basically start fighting each other. The song is actually pretty cool. But at the end, one of them, Melissa, is still a bit feral. And by the way, that Fireside Girl, she's the one from the episode where basically admires Isabella, then Candace with having earned those 50 patches to go to a concert that, she didn't have to go through all that effort for because of how the episode went out. But hey, that Fireside Girl returns and apparently still feral. Which is, I think, hilarious. But that also inquires, I think at least once, if not twice so far in season 5, it's mentioned that there was that time Ferb went feral. I want to know more about that, because now there's at least 2 kids in the Phineas Ferb universe who's at different times gone feral, and at least once it's because of Doofenshmirtz and NATOs. What is going on there? And Phineas Ferb only have a brief cameo, and it's a bit like, you can't see us arguing! and that's about it. But that also leaves the possibility that this episode can take place during the time frame of another episode, which they've done previously, especially when they have a Fireside Girl focused episode, which they have done before. And so that's pretty much it. There's other small things we can talk about here and there, but let's keep the discussion going in the comment section. Oh, I forgot one thing though. Perry does get to renew the Aqua's good business license, and it's super easy compared to the evil business license, which I think is just so fitting. But that's where I'm actually going to end this review. Let me know your thoughts on these 2 episodes in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.